Hi and welcome back to Cooking Live with Kristin. I'm Kristin Omdahl and this is episode 2 where we're going to be making roasted salmon, jasmine rice, and my semi-homemade Caesar salad dressing that Marlon and I absolutely love. I am joined today by Marlon, who will be asking all of your questions out loud for me while I'm cooking, so please feel welcome to ask your questions in real time because Marlon's going to be reading them to me, and then of course he'll be taste testing at the end. If you're joining me live, please say hello. See lots of names here so far. I have to come closer to read them though. Hi Melissa, hi Thea, thanks for joining live. Hi Barbara. Hi Terry, thanks for joining live. So glad to have all of you here today. So I'm going to get started. We've got 2 things that take a long time and 1 thing that doesn't take a long time. So I need to start the rice and prepare the salmon, and they're going to both take, well, one's going to take about 15 minutes and the other one about 10. So I've started by preheating my oven to 450 degrees and preheating the stove to medium high. And I'm going to start the rice first. I'm going to add a tiny bit of olive oil to the heated pan. That was more than I needed, but needed about a teaspoon. And I'm adding 2 cups of jasmine rice. Now I make rice 2 different ways. Sometimes I rinse the rice first before cooking it, and other times instead of rinsing, I saute it in a little bit of olive oil first. Depends on what I'm in the mood to do. So now that I have this in the hot pan with the olive oil, we'll let that saute for a couple of minutes, and what will happen is the rice will start to turn opaque, and when it gets a more opaque white, then I'll throw in my water and turn the heat down, put the cover on, and cook the rice. So while we're letting that saute a little bit, we don't want it to turn brown at all, I will start preparing my salmon. I like to buy salmon at Costco because I like to buy it frozen, so it's convenient to use at all times. I buy it wild caught and it comes frozen in individual packages. So I thaw them either in the sink in a bowl of water if I need to cook them right away, or I put them in a bowl in the fridge and let them thaw out overnight. So what I'm going to do is cut them out of the bags. They are thawed right now, and dry them off on paper towels. I like them to be dry first before I put them in the oven. And if you have any questions, please feel welcome to ask. Marlon will repeat them out loud for me.
Indeed.
This is one of your favorite meals that I make.
Oh yeah, for sure.
A couple years ago I discovered that salmon not only was a mild fish, which I always knew, but when I found out that it was an anti-inflammatory food and had so many other health benefits, I added it to our regular, weekly meals. We have salmon at least once a week.
Is jasmine rice long grain?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
If I'm wrong, somebody is more than welcome to point that out to me. Now that the salmon is patted off with paper toweling, I put it skin side down on a baking sheet. We do love the skin, and occasionally we'll eat the skin, and then I'll do the skin side up so that we maintain it. But if I put it on a baking sheet with aluminum foil and don't put any spray down first, the skin will stick to the foil, and I'm able to take the fillets off and not put the skin on the plate, which is less tempting for Marlon because he would love to eat the skin otherwise.
Yeah, I eat everything.
And not that the skin isn't good for you in some ways, but it's more fat and more calories.
Yeah.
Okay, I can smell the rice. Yeah, and the kernels are a little whiter. And it has a toasted smell. It almost smells like you're cooking popcorn. Doesn't it smell like popcorn, Marlon?
Yeah, a bit.
Okay, so now we'll get
Actually, yeah.
We'll get 4 cups of water in there. I put 2 cups of rice, so I like to put in at least 3.5 cups of water.
like a hibachi throw.
Yeah.
I love that.
I do not season the rice at this point. I keep it just water in there and that little bit of olive oil from the beginning. It's hot enough that it's bubbling up right away, so I'm going to turn the heat down and put the lid on, and we'll let that go for 15 minutes. Okay, so now our salmon is dried off. It is time to make the marinade for the salmon. And although I use garlic and lemon a lot of times with the marinade, I usually add whatever herb I have on hand. Sometimes I use dill, sometimes I use parsley or cilantro, and today I'm going to use basil because it is in my little plant hanging there. But we're going to let's start with garlic. Who is that, Becker?
Yeah, they're going to war. Straight war right now.
Okay, so in my marinade, let's get this in the sink. That had the raw meat on it. Are there any questions, Marlon? Have you been reading?
No questions.
Okay,
So far.
cool.
So you got two little curious kitties over there now.
Okay. New station set up. All right, so I've got 1 clove of garlic. I only buy garlic in the heads and crush it myself. I know you can buy pre-chopped garlic at the store, and although it sounds so tempting to do it because I know it can be a pain to peel the garlic and to shred it, but the flavor just is not the same, and I will never understand what they preserve it with anyway, so I highly recommend buying garlic. It lasts a long time, and it's not that hard to do once you get used to it. Okay, so I'm going to use my planer, and I'm going to use the smaller side of my planer because I like to keep the garlic pieces really small, and then it kind of just blends into the sauce, and you don't actually get garlic chunks in your food. I have longer nails, so at the end, I like to use the back of my thumb so that I'm not scratching my fingernails.
Oh, you can go on the bottom and it won't cut.
Oh yeah, the bottom's not sharp. So once you do the
I tried to
grating,
do it on the
once you do the grating,
Okay.
you can use your finger on the back side. That's a great question, honey. And you can just get all that
I had no idea.
goodness of garlic from back there. All right, so we're going to also zest 1 lemon, and we'll see how it goes on the smaller grate. I don't think I'm gonna like it as much, so I'm gonna go to the thicker teeth on the other side, and I'll grate the lemon on that side. And I like the look of grated lemon in the zest, whereas I don't want the garlic chunks to be there, so making them a little bit bigger kind of helps them stand out a little
Have
bit.
you thought about using a garlic press?
I have used a garlic press in the past, and this is going to sound a little bit silly, but I don't like the waste. You have a piece of garlic that's left over at the end, and I don't like having to throw it out or having to chop it differently. So I haven't found a garlic press that I think actually squeezes all of it out. And for that reason, I really like doing it manually on a grater instead. Okay, so we've got the zest of 1 lemon, the 1 garlic clove. We're going to add, let me rinse my hands off again. We're going to add a little bit of our basil. Oh, yes.
Yes. Is it better to cook salmon in the oven or on a stovetop?
I think you can do it either way. We've done it both ways. I do it
Yeah.
on the barbecue sometimes. I
Oh,
do it on the
that's good.
stovetop. I just, I'm set doing it in the oven at 450 because I know it's going to take a little over 10 minutes to cook. And when I'm making other things, I just find that to be super convenient. All right, so we're going to chiffonade our basil, which is a very fancy term for just lining them up like this leave a couple of these for garnish. We line them all up flat, and we're gonna roll it up really tightly. I'm gonna slice little tiny slivers or ribbons. If I back up a little bit, can probably get on camera a little bit. Can you smell it?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Over here's better? Where could you see it better?
There.
Here?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's just a little far away.
Yeah, well, that's another reason why you're here, is to help me with that stuff. Thank you. All right, so I did it the long way into the ribbons, and then I did on the cross section of it to make it just a tiny bit shorter or smaller, and toss it in the bowl with the garlic and the lime zest or lemon zest. I'm going to add a small amount of olive oil, probably about a tablespoon, a little bit of salt, a little bit of ground pepper, mix it together. Now I'm just, you want to smell it?
Jesus. So good.
All right, watch your language though.
Sorry.
All right, so we'll just do a quarter of it on each one of the salmon pieces. So I'm gonna eyeball it at first, and then I'll come back in and grab the last little bits of goodness here. I don't think it's necessary to bring out a brush to do this. It's not that much liquid, and I'm really more interested in getting the chunks spread around, because there really isn't that much olive oil here. The olive oil just works as a paste. Okay, these are looking good. All right, and we're at 8:28 for the rice, so we'll have to make sure if we're going to use the same timer, when the rice timer goes off, we'll have 1.5 minutes to go for the salmon. So this is what the salmon looks like at this point, and I'm going to put it in the oven, which has been preheated to 450 degrees. And let's, oh, I forgot the most important part of
Are you
this.
still using Butcher Box?
Yes, I am. I use Butcher Box for chicken and beef, but I do fish through Costco. I'm going to put some halved lemons in the oven with the salmon so that they get a nice char on them. Notice how I didn't put any juice on the salmon yet? That's because I want these lemons to be dark and charred if possible. They give a smoky flavor to the lemon juice, so as they cook in the oven, then I'm going to squeeze them over the salmon at the end. I learned this while I was at a restaurant with Knit and Crochet Now, the new TV show on PBS that I'm on, the season 10. When we were there filming in Ohio, I went to a restaurant where they served charred lemons with salmon, and it was amazing.
Do you use alternate oils like grapeseed oil or walnut oil?
I use avocado oil sometimes, and I use extra virgin coconut oil sometimes.
When you buy salmon, how do you know if it's not old or fresh?
I buy it frozen at Costco, wild caught, and it's frozen in individual packages inside the bag. And Marlon, it's never smelled fishy, has it?
Oh, no.
Never. It's really it ends
good.
up being around $7 a pound at Costco, which is unheard of anywhere else for wild caught, and it doesn't smell fishy.
Yeah.
I can't find a better value and a better consistency than that. Okay, so next up I'm gonna do my semi-homemade Caesar salad dressing. And this is because I'm not comfortable making Caesar salad dressing traditionally at home because I don't want to mess with the raw egg stuff. And you know, I'm not a professional chef. I don't really know about how to pasteurize a raw egg, or there's different techniques to it. I want this to be simple. I want our Caesar salad to taste like that steakhouse tangy bowl dressing that we love, but I want to make it quickly and easily on any weeknight. So I found a way to do that. I buy 1 bag of lettuce that's just regular, and I buy 1 bag of lettuce that is a Caesar salad kit. So I usually get one of these in one of the bags, which has a little bit of dressing, some croutons, and some cheese. And then what I do is I doctor up that dressing so that I get all of those bold, tangy flavors of that proper table-side Caesar salad, but I haven't had to use any raw eggs. So it's not 100% homemade, but I can make an amazing tangy Caesar salad in about 5 minutes, right?
Oh yeah.
So what I do is I start with about half of the dressing in that container, and that's what gives us our glue. It gives us our creamy base instead of adding mayonnaise or egg or all that stuff. So I use a little bit of the dressing, and notice how I only use one of these for 2 bags of salad. So next up, can you smell the salmon?
Oh yeah.
Next up, I'm gonna add about a teaspoon of everything that I add in there. I'm gonna add a teaspoon of Dijon or stone ground mustard. Either one will work. I add the same amount of Worcestershire sauce. I think this is one of the key ingredients to really getting a delicious Caesar salad flavor. We're gonna add 1 clove of garlic. Find a good one here. And I'm going to shred it on the grater as well, especially when you're keeping garlic raw. It's really important to get it as fine as possible. Whoops, that one's not coming apart. I've got another little handy tool in here too. See this little thing here? It's a little tube. I put a garlic clove in there and roll it. It pops out without the skin on it. As long as you do it on a dry surface. If you do it on a wet surface, for some reason it won't work. All right, so we'll grab our grater again. We only put garlic on it before, so I'm gonna reuse it. Okay, then we're gonna add the juice of 1 lemon. This one has a green one when you're using limes because they're smaller, and then a lemon one on the other side that's bigger. And what it does is it juices it with this wonderful leverage in that hinge, and then hangs on to the seeds as well. I find it to be my favorite and most convenient way to juice citrus. Okay, 1 should be enough. We'll add a little bit of fresh ground pepper. A little bit of Parmesan cheese, probably about 2 tablespoons. I know you'd like more than that, and we may add more at the end, but we'll start with 2 tablespoons. It also helps to make the salad dressing a little thicker, and we'll give it a try. Here, I'll give you a spoon too so you can taste it. You can tell me if you think it needs any more. You know, we added salty things to it, so I didn't add salt yet because of the cheese and the prepackaged Caesar dressing. But we could end up needing a little salt. We might need a little olive oil. We might need more lemon, but we'll give it a taste first. Tell me what you think. That's pretty good. Need a little more lemon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
All right, well, we're out of fresh lemons now, so I'll grab some lemon juice. It's never my first choice, but it's always a good one for adding at the last minute if you don't have enough. So we probably could have used the juice of 2 lemons. Okay, we ate off of those, so put those in the sink. But we don't need to taste it again. We know that's going to be good.
Sure.
You want to taste it? Okay.
Of course I want to say it.
All right.
Yes,
Good?
ma'am.
Okay. All right, so next we're going to add our lettuce. So I'll show you, it's a little browner than you might expect, but it won't look because of the Worcestershire sauce, but it ends up looking just like a thicker dressing on the salad. So I'm gonna add my 2 packages of lettuce. I didn't have the Caesar kits, but notice how I had an extra from one of the last times I bought them. What happens is when they go on sale, sometimes I'll buy just the lettuce kits and sometimes I'll just buy the Caesar kits. So when I have leftovers of the Caesar kits, I throw them in the fridge so that I have them for other times we want to make Caesar salad. This is a salad chopper. It is extremely sharp. Nothing that I recommend using if you're not fully focused on what you're doing. You need to keep your fingers down in here. These two sharp blades are extremely sharp. In fact, you have to keep this cover on it when you're not using it. But I'm gonna tell you, it makes chopped salad in the blink of an eye. So what I'm gonna do is just start pushing down on the salad. You won't believe how quickly this transforms. Now, you wanna make sure you know where your other hand is. You can't have your other hand or any of the fingers of your other hand in the bowl because you're pushing down hard and it's extremely sharp. Okay, so our timer went off, so then I remembered that our next timer needed to be 1:30. The first timer was for the rice, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, so take a look at the rice.
Yeah, you said something about 1.5 minutes for
Yeah.
the salmon after the...
Fluff it slightly, take it off the heat, and keep the lid on. Salmon's looking good. We'll let that go its extra 1.5 minutes, and we'll get back to chopping.
The color of the dressing is so offsetting at first.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
And one of the other reasons why I didn't season the rice is because once this is a chopped salad and all the pieces are small, it is so good to mix it in with the rice. It gives you crunch from the lettuce because it's still, it's still fresh, not cooked like the rice, so you get that texture change, and the dressing just adds so much zip and flavor to the rice. I love mixing them together on my plate. Okay, so mixing the dressing around with the lettuce now, a lot easier to do when it's smaller pieces, and I could chop it up a little bit more, don't you think?
Yeah,
You could go a little smaller. I know you love chopped salad.
My mouth is watering.
Well, I'll probably have to give you a taste of it as a salad. You tell me if it needs more cheese.
Oh yeah. You can never go wrong with some cheese. More cheese.
There's no questions?
Nope.
Okay.
Those are all in awe.
In awe.
I don't know.
Oh, you're just guessing.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got 10 minutes going here. Let's see how it looks. I do have a thermometer here. It's a magnet that sits on my fridge. It's digital, so I just pull it out. Okay, these are ranging between 140 and 150, which is perfectly fine. So I clean it off and throw it right back on the fridge, so I always know where it is. We'll let those sit there for, oh, no, we're not gonna let those sit there for a minute. We're gonna squeeze our cooked lemons on top of each piece. Ooh, they're hot. Ooh! Even for my asbestos fingers, that's really hot. Ooh! Sometimes you hear that from your bedroom and you're like, what in the heck is going on out there,
I
right?
can always guess it has something to do with the kitchen.
Okay, we'll let those sit while we finish chopping our salad, and then we're ready to plate.
I've never eaten fish before. What kind of fish do you think I should start off with that's not a strong fishy flavor, like taste?
Wouldn't you say salmon?
I'd say salmon too.
Yeah.
It's not.
I think salmon's a really mild flavor.
Where do you get the thermometer?
It's on Amazon. I think everything that I'm sharing with you today is in my Amazon shop. I buy a lot of my gadgets there. The thermometer I love. I can take it out to the barbecue. I can use it here in the kitchen. I even use it on the stove when I'm making candy, like toffee and stuff for presents. So it's safe enough to use on the stove. I can use it on stuff in the oven. But it's not the kind that you would leave in the oven. You open the door and you poke it in the meat, but it instantly reads it. I mean, it's very fast. Okay, we've got a chopped salad now.
Perfect.
Does that look good? You want a little more cheese?
Mm,
I'm all out of the shredded, so I can put
no,
in grated.
just leave it. It's okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so we're ready to plate. Do you want everything separate on a plate, or do you want a nice bowl with salad and salmon on top?
Let's do separate.
Separate?
So
Okay.
just so we can see, like,
Yeah. We'll do plates.
I think it looked pretty.
Okay. But I'm gonna show you that I put my salad with my rice. Tastes so good that way.
Oh, we're plating?
Yeah, we're done.
Perfect.
How many minutes are we at?
I don't know.
Oh, I can tell you up here.
Yeah.
Oh, we're at 25 minutes, so we're within 30 minutes.
Perfect.
Not too shabby. Okay, so we'll start with rice. Just a good spot for the camera?
Yeah.
Or this one?
Maybe move that over there, just so you can see a little better.
Can you see better if I do this? All right, oh, do you want me to measure it for you?
Oh,
much
yeah,
did you want?
please.
You want a half a cup?
Yeah, half a cup, yeah.
Okay,
So, you know, diet, like,
yep. So there's 2/4 cups for a half a cup. And how much salad do you want?
a good amount.
A lot,
I'm
okay.
hungry today.
Okay.
Where did you get your salad chopper?
On Amazon. If you go to the link in the video to my Amazon shop, all of these awesome
That's good.
gadgets are there. That's good?
Yeah.
Okay, how many pieces of salmon do you want on your first plate?
Just start with one for now.
Okay, where is my
Just so it just looks.
spatula? Okay, I think we'll use this one. This will work. Let's see, can I bring this over there now? I'll put on my other mitt. Okay, because I wanted to show you how so where would I put this one? Here now?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to gently try to remove the salmon without the skin, and it should be really easy to do. There we go. Comes right off.
No skin.
I know.
It's all good.
But if you do the salmon where you put the skin side up and cook it till it's crispy, it's so good. Right, that one might need to sit there a little longer before it comes off. This one's gonna come off easily. This one's easy. This one doesn't want to come off just yet, so, oh, there we go. That way. All right. So can I touch this now? So you can see the skins are staying on the tray. Okay, your plate is done. Why don't you come around here and give it a try? And I'll continue to make my plate while you give yours a try. There you go. I'll do a 1/4 cup of rice for mine.
Cool. I'm just gonna try everything separately.
Separately? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I
I'm
gave
glad.
you
I'm glad we added a little bit of lemon.
a little extra lemon.
Yeah. It's really good.
Oh, I gave you the smallest piece of salmon. I'm sorry.
No worries.
But I know you're going to have more than one serving, so.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to mix my lettuce and rice together because I just love that contrast.
This salmon is really good. What do you think?
I didn't try it, I was dying to try the salad. The salad is so good. You can taste the lemon, you taste the garlic, you taste the Worcestershire sauce. You actually taste a little bit of the mustard too. The lettuce is so nice and crunchy with the rice. Yum.
Very good.
All right, how's the basil? Do you like that on the salmon?
I actually like it. Yeah. I probably would have preferred like cilantro, but like that was actually really good. Is good.
It's really fragrant, yeah.
Yeah.
Can you taste the smokiness of the lemon because I cooked the lemon?
It was like one of the first things I got. I took the bite.
Mm-hmm.
Really,
Awesome.
really good. Yeah.
Okay, wow. Well, it looks like we have another hit. As long as
Stop
Marlon's
eating it.
happy, that's what makes me happy. Thank you all so much for taking time out of your busy day to spend a few minutes with me and with Marlon. If you want the recipe to today's episode, I will be sharing that in the blog post link that is already provided in the video description, but I'm just gonna go make a few tweaks based on what we did here, so it'll be up and active in about, 15 minutes. If you would like to see more of Marlon's music, you can find it on his YouTube channel called Seltzer Beats, and I've posted a link to that in the video description as well.
We post it
And
every day.
yes, he
Every
posts
day.
new music every day. It's so awesome. And if you want to subscribe to this channel, my channel, you can be notified the next time we go live. If you have requests for other things you'd like to see us make and try on the show, please feel welcome to leave it in the comments. We would love to hear from you. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time. Bye.